Just a moment, please. Okay, all right. So good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Can you see my screen? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, all
Yes.
right. Okay, right.
Yes.
Right. So welcome everyone, right? This is gonna be our first time meeting. I think so. So we're going to, I think we're gonna sharing about how you're going to prepare yourself for writing and research. So this course is English for academic writing. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Kanokon Pradapon, and I now working at Faculty of Art, the RMUTP, right, or Rajamangala University of Technology, Pranakon, right. Now I'm an English lecturer, teaching a course of English there. So I would like to share with you today about English for academic writing. So mostly it will be based about how you're writing your research, right? So firstly, let's go to my slides. Okay, right. We will be here together for about 6 weeks. So you will see here on my PowerPoint slides for the first week. So this week in 1 hour, we will be talking about introductions to research writing. So get to know more about what is research. Then for next week, we're talking about paragraph writing. The week 3 will be essay writing. week 4 will be sections to research writing progress, right? Week 5 will be literature review. And then last week 6 will be abstract writing. So I hope maybe most of you have heard about how to write and research, right? But or maybe you already have experience about it, so maybe we can talk more about this. So firstly, let's be talking about the introduction to research writing. So for research writing, I have one question to asking you. What is research? Right? Because we will talk about the research. Can anyone share with me what is research? You can turn on microphone or maybe typing, chatting. What is research? What do you think about it? What is research on your mind? Have you ever have experience about that? Right. Anyone want to share? I'll give you some time to think. So the first question, what is research? What do you think? What do you think about it? What is the research? Any idea? No, no one. Do you have any idea about it? You just think, oh, that's why I joined these sections because I want to know more. What is the research? All right. I see one raising hand. So, Supatra, right? You want to share?
Thank you, teacher. About me, what is research? Research to graduate. Thank you.
Right. Research is to graduate. Right? If you not finish your paper, maybe you not graduate. That maybe that is what you think, right? Right. So actually, if you're searching, maybe you go to the Google or go to your favorite website for searching, right? You might find, oh, what is the research? And it show up just like this from the dictionary. Research mean the systematic investigate, blah, 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 right? So that is what is the really meaning of it, right? The word. But in the reality, what is it? Research. For me, I feel like research is like re and search. Re, you know, the word re is just like you do it again, right? And searching, right? You need to searching, looking for some information, right? So research is just like sometimes you need to looking for some other paper, some other people work, right? So you taking that one and you searching for more information and you keep doing it again and you make it to become your own work, your own research. So the research is just like you searching it again and again and again until you're finding, or it's the information is suitable for your paper, is suitable for your research, like that. So this is what the meaning for me, but I don't know, maybe you guys have some other meaning, maybe the same like the meaning like this, right? You study material, the result in order to establish the facts, right? It's same, right? You just need to search and you do it again. You're looking for the other paper and other paper until you get what is it really related with your paper, and then you can show that is your work, that is your research, what you get from that, right? So this is the research, the thing that you need to searching for, right? You're not some kind of, right, someone that invented something new, right? You cannot just like, oh, pop up of something, but you need to looking for something to get an idea, right? To get some information, right? And then you do it again to match with your paper, right? Okay, so let's go to the next part. Here is some research writing, or maybe you can call research article structure, right? As you can see here from the top here, on your paper, you should have introductions, right? Methods or methodology, or you will have the result from what you get from the data you collect, from the method that you use, right? And then lastly will be discussions, right? So this is a framework, big framework about it, right? Your paper should have introduction, method, research, and discussions, right? So we will go into the detail of this paper for today, right? What are we going to write on the introductions? What is the method or methodology, and how about the resource, right? Right. So firstly, I would like to tell you about the types of the research based on the data or information, because actually the research, there are many types, right, of the research. It's based on your data, or sometimes it's based on uh your information background. So there are many types of the research, but commonly that you can see is these two types, right? The first one is quantitative research, right? The quantitative research means that you have to have the number, right? The number, where you get the number. Maybe you do a questionnaire or right a test, then you get the number from there. Then you need to do the statistics to getting what is the result from that, right? Variance and everything is on quantitative research, right? So, and then the next one will be qualitative research. Qualitative research is just like something that you have to writing. So mostly it will be uh, about about information that maybe the thing that you read, you collect the data, maybe from the interview, maybe from the questionnaire, but it's on the open questions, right? Open-end questions. So it's not gonna be about the number, right? So this is the difference between quantitative and qualitative, right? So before we move on, right? Let me ask you, on your research paper, right? Is anyone doing quantitative research here? Can you raise your hand? Or maybe you can turn on your microphone. Quantitative research. Anyone doing the paper right now? Have you ever do the quantitative research now, or you do not have any experience about this one yet? All right, okay. So how about qualitative research? Qualitative research. Did anyone know? All right, okay. All right, so maybe now you still considering, right? Should I do the quantitative or should I do the qualitative? Maybe, right? So the thing is, it's based on your paper, the data that you want. I mean the is from the topic, right? The thing that you want to do, right? For example, I would say if you uh, study about the motivation, right? How students study an online class, right? So maybe you do a questionnaire to ask, like you distributed them to a lot of students in the university to do the questionnaire for you, right? So from that you will get the results as the statistics, and you will do as the quantitative research. This is the quantitative research, right? So when you're writing the result, you need to show the number, right? But if you do as the qualitative research here, you don't need to show about the number. You need to just say what you got from that, what you got, what people say, what people talk about it, right? Or maybe you do the research about how people chatting in what is it? Maybe using English in chatting in the game, online game like that. Like you research want to know about what words they use like in English like that. So you just go research and then you get the data, right? Or the word that you get. So it's not number, it's just like the word that you get from there. So you can call it qualitative research, right? So the data, the result of this research, you will have to be in written, writing in the paragraph explanation, telling information, right? This is the difference, and commonly will be these two kinds of the research, right? That's what I want to talking about first, right? So now let's move on to the next part, research article structures. I think most of you, if you do the research and then if you really want to graduate, like your friend said, you need to know what is the research structure, right? First thing is abstract, okay? I think most of you might know abstract. Abstract is just like the summary of all, right? You need to have the introductions there, having the paper questions, having the methodologies, result, conclusion, discussions in one page, right? So that is abstract. But we will go more detail on that. Then next one is introductions. This one is very under your research paper now, right? Your introductions will be like short or long. It depends on what you want to tell about your paper background, right? Like, why are you doing this? Questions, right? Must having question of the paper, right? So you will get the answer at the end, right? Literature review, right? This part, I think maybe to some people it might be difficult. Even for me, I think sometimes the thing that you need to find some information to support your paper is literature review, right? You need to go looking for other people papers, right? That can link or related with your paper. So it's kind of hard sometimes. Like you don't know. Maybe if you are new to the research, doing the research, you might not know where to find it and how do you need to looking for it. But don't worry, I will tell you at the end of these sections how you will do the literature review. All right. Next, methodology. Methodology is from the methods, right? The way you do it, the research. How do you get your data? Is it from the interview? Is it from the questionnaire? It's very common between questionnaire and interview, right? But you might do some group interview or what? Or you do recording, observing, right? This kind of thing we call methodology, the method that you use to collect your data, right? How do you doing it? This is one we'll talk in your method. So you need to describe in detail, okay, about who, right? Who do you taking the information from, right? Who you collected the information from? When, right? When you collect it, is it the data from 10 years ago? Is it updated, right? So sometimes when we do the research, you should not hold it too long, right? You do it research maybe 1 or 2 years, you should publish your research. If not, the data that you collect will be too long, right? Maybe it cannot be reliable anymore. So you need to consider about when, right? Where do you collect it, right? You do research about university students, but you collect the data from people on from the street. You interview the people from there. It's not related, right? So consider about this, right? Why do I mention this? Because later on, right, when now you're a student, right? So later on, your professor or the one that will check your paper later on, they will asking you a question. Why do you choose these people, right? Why? When do you collect it? Where? Right? Why do you need to go collect information from this place? Right? So this is methodology. Right. Next part will be result. Right. Result is talking about what you get from your methodology. Right. Whether it is answer your question or not, you need to show it here. Right. Sometimes you expect that your result must be a good answer from the question that you put the question right on the introductions. So you're thinking, oh, I will get the results, the good one. But in the reality, sometimes it's not. So in the results, you just show what you got. Okay. You don't need to make it pretty, right? To make it good, no need, right? Then next one will be discussion. Right? Discussion part will be talking about what you get. Okay, right? How was it, right? Is there any problems, right? Is there anything that uh, need to be improved for the further study, future study, right? What you need to do. And conclusion is just like your summary all of this, right? All the part of this. Okay, right. Now, I would like to show you some details, okay, about each part, right, each sections of the research paper, right? First thing, as you can see here, abstract. It's just a mini version of the paper, right? So it's just like maybe your paper you're writing, I don't know, this can be more than 50 pages because some of the, I would say, master degree student or doctorate degree student mostly because maybe you have a lot of the result or method talking about, or you have a lot literature review, and then you have, so maybe it's long part, right? But you need to make it summarize, make it short, okay? So abstract is just like the mini version of the paper. To make it short, right? Maybe one. I think mostly abstract is only 1 page. I'm not see more than that, but yeah, maybe have it more than that, but I rarely see abstract is very short, right? Then as it's short, it needs to be combined all the things, right? Let's see here in this column, right? I mentioned about the verb tense, the verb tense grammatically. You're using the past simple tense to talk in these sections, right? Especially if you're working in English, right? Try to use past simple. The past simple is very simple, right? You're just using simple past tense to write it. So let's see here, what is an abstract? Abstract, right? You need to talking about research objective, the questions that you set, right? What you want to find. That is the objective of your research. Mostly the objectives, right? Maybe 2 to 3, right? Commonly will be that. Next one, you need to describe about methodology, right? Using WH question, who, right? What, when, where, how you collect it, right? You just writing about it. Or 50 university students, you collect you collect the data by using a questionnaire from 50 students, right, in ABC University, right, and the period from when to when, right? That is methodology, just make it sum up. And then you summarize the findings, what you found, right? So you can see here it's very short. You state your research object, you tell what you do to getting that objective, then you telling what the result, what the result from your methodology, right? Okay, so this is an abstract. Next one, abstract, you should not miss, right? There will be a keyword, right? The key term. So that keyword, you need to think about the word that you what is it that you use as your research title, right? Because mostly when people searching, people can see your paper directly from that. right? So you need to find correct term key, right? I mean keywords in the abstract also, right? But I didn't mention here. Next part, now come to the paper part, introductions. Okay, so introduction, you need to provide rationale for the study. Like you talking about overall, right? Introduction. You're using present tense, okay? Right? Give rationale for the study, introduce previous research, right? Indicate a research gap, outline the purpose of study, and present research question. Here comes the important part, right? So, what I want to show here, I know introductions like most of people will be, the thing is you're looking for why do you want to do this paper? It will be on the introduction, right? So you give overall information. I mean, I would give you example like if you do the research about how do people feel, right, about study and online. How do the university student feel, right, about study online. So in the introductions, you need to talking about what is an online study. When it is start, why do we need to do an online? So this one will be on introduction, right? To open mind of the people that reading. Oh, this research will be talking about what? About the online classroom. Then why? What happened? Come to the purpose of the study and the questions, right? You said, oh, you want to know about how people feel about this, an online course. Is it effective? So now you come to a question, right, of the paper, right? So overall, will be related with your titles, right? Now, this is your introduction. Just try to imagine, right? Think about the title that you want to study, and then introduction will be talking about it, right? Talking about it overall to open mind of people. What is it really what you want to show them, right? And then you state your questions in this part, right? In the introduction part. Next one will be literature review. In this part, as you know, literature and review, right? So you need to go to the other people work, or maybe your work on the past is okay also, right? So literature review is to review about the literature, right? You go searching about other scholar paper, right? Looking for the information that related with your paper, and then you take some part of them, take their idea, take their word. Don't forget to put the quotation, right? So this is the thing that you need to do, right? You need to using present tense, okay? I forget to mention introduction. Using present tense, literature review, you use present tense, right? To establish your knowledge in literature review. Right? Then what happened here? You need to do the summarize, okay? Or the summary of the past studies. The one that you get, you make it summarize, and then you state the question, you taking some example from there. Right? This is the literature review, right? Come to the next part, right? Later on, I will show you how you can get some literature review. Next part will be methodology, right? Methodology is about the method, like I said before, right? So methodology is something that you need to collect some data, right? So you use past simple tense, okay? Past simple tense in this part, right? To describe that you already done, right? Before you writing this research, it means you need to correct the data already, right? That's why you need to use the past simple tense here, right? it will be described about the research sample, right? The instrument, right? How do you collect it, right? Questionnaire, interview, or observation, recording, or kind of thing will be on methodology. Next one will be result, right? Result showing what you get, what you found, what you discover, right? What you observe, right? The thing that you get, right? So you also use past simple here, okay, to describe what you found, right? Just telling the result what you get, nothing more than that. You should not add any other thing in here, right? Just showing what you get, right? Next part, right? Discussion. In discussion part, right, you need to talking about the thing that you questions, and the result that you get. Is it related? Is it matching, or if not, why? What happened there, right? So you're using the present tense, okay, to talking about in this part, right? You just present. So here they're telling you to highlight research findings, right? Just telling what you found, right? And is it related with your question, right? So it will be in this part. So discuss research finding, right? The trend, right? And everything, right? How your result agree and is right. Okay. Is it the same or not with the previous study? Maybe from the literature review, right? Or maybe from the questions you put. Last one will be conclusions, right? To summarize your research findings. So you summarize again what you found using present tense. Okay, right? You in this part, right? The important part, you need to talking about limitation, right? In every study, it should have limitation of the research. Okay, right? Maybe you have the limited of the number of the people that you collect the data, or maybe limitation of the period of time, right? So there might be some limitation there, right? And you need to suggest for the further study, right? Your paper should not just end there. Oh, I have the question, I do research, I get the answer, it's done. No, right? If the results is not matching with your questions, with your research question, what will you do? This is, you need to put it, the suggest further study, right? What you need to do next, or the other people that want to continue to do from your research, what they need to do, right? For example, maybe should have the bigger was it data or collections, right? That might be the good example for that. This is conclusion, right? All right, so that part is all the research that you can see, right? The big pictures of it, right? So in your paper, you should have overall, right, all of this in together, right, to become one paper research, right? One research, the thing that you need to finish. You need to have abstract, introduction, literature review, methodology, result, right? Discussions and conclusion. Right? This is very common. Right? Very common. Okay. All right. So, before I move on to the next part, which is evaluate research article, right? I would like to asking you a question. Have anyone started doing any part of your research yet? Have anyone start doing any part of your research? Have you write your abstract or introductions or maybe methodology? Have you write it, some of it already, or start to do it already? Anyone want to share?
我看那个杯子都能送。
不是啊，我让他拿一袋
Or maybe you can type it here, right? Maybe you can type it here, right? In the chat, and later I will check on this. Okay, all right. So next part, right? Why I asked you that questions, right? because now I will move on to this part to evaluate research articles, right? So if you have write some of your paper, right, on each part, you can check here, okay? With the one that I will share with you now. If you have write it, you will see how your work, is it okay? Is it good? Or you need to improve some of your paper, right? Let me see here. To evaluate research articles, right? Firstly, I would like to start with the general impressions. Your paper need to be impressed, right? Impressions, okay? Need to be impressed to someone, right? Okay, or the reader, or the one that, what is it called? The one that, publisher, right? Right. Next one, titles. How do you know your title is good enough? Abstract, introduction, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. And lastly will be reference. Okay, now I would like to go a bit faster. Firstly, general impressions, right? For the general impression, you need to answer this question if you want your paper to be okay, right? Is the article well written or organized? I said before, right? Your paper should have introductions, literature review, methodology, and everything, right? As the arrangement. So if your article is not organized like that, right? It means it's not good at all, right? If you're suddenly you're having your literature review and results come before methodology, it's not working like that. So most of people will not okay with it, right? That's why your article need to be well written and then organized well. Well written. How well is important, right? Using the tenses, right? The grammatical tenses that I gave you before, the slide before, right? For the introductions part, you need to using the past tense, or the other part using present tense to talking about, right? So well written. And then next week, we will talking about the paragraph writing, right? So you will learn how to written well. I'm sure you can do it. Then the next part, that the study address an important problem.
陈玲玲同学，把你的麦克风关掉。
So is it your study? It have an important questions. Did you tell in the questions? Is it your question is really raise up your research? Right? This part, if you're not sure, right, you can asking your professor, or maybe you can talk with your friends. If I address the question like this, you think, is it interesting, right? So you need to address the problem. Next one, what are the most important things you learn from these studies? So the thing that you learn, this one will be talking in discussion part, right? So you need to talking about it in there, right? What you learn, the result of it, right? What do you see as the important compelling strength of the study, right? The strength of the study, for sure, everyone will have it, right? Where even though you get the result, the bad result from what you expect, right? You need to find the strength of your study, right? You need to telling why, even though the result is not good, it's not what you think, right? You need to telling, but there must be something, right? Maybe you have some problems, maybe you have some the external facts that you cannot control, right? You need to mention about it, that even though the result of yours is not good, but it's still important, right? Your study is still important, right? How might this study be improved? Or how can your study be improved in the future, right? For the further study, what will you do, right? So this is the general impression. When people reading your paper, they will just checking about your organization. Is it on the good format term, right? Is it have result? Is it just methodology and conclusion, right? So it need to be organized well. Are there problems there? Or if have problem in the introduction, okay, they will check, oh, good paper, right? And the question needs to be reasonable, right? Related with your topic, with your titles. The important you learn, right? They will check what you got, the result, right? Anything important, what is the strength of your result, right? And then what you mentioned about further study, right? This is a general impression. If the one that read your paper feel impressed all of this question, they're feeling, oh, you can answer all of this question, your paper will be okay, will be fine, right? Or I can say you can graduate, right? As you expect, right? So this is just the general. How about the detail of it, right? Your titles, right? Is it describe the study clearly? Is it your titles and your study, is it really the same? Is it related, right? So sometimes when you think of your title, you need to make it clear, short and clear, right? Mostly it will be short and clear, right? You will not gonna make it title so long, right? So it will be short and clear, right? Next one, do the keywords in the title express the key concept of the study, right? Here, the keywords. As I mentioned to you, right, in the abstract, we have keyword. So the keyword with the title, it must be related. Why? Because later when you publish your paper, people searching your paper based on the keywords, right? So if your research is using the keyword that interesting, people commonly looking for it, searching. So this will be easy, right? I mean, a lot of people will feel comfy to find your paper, right? And your paper will become, what is it called? Like can be say it's famous for people to search, right? So wisely use the keywords, okay, related with the title of yours. Next one is the title clear and concise. Yeah. So I say to you must be clear and short, right? Does the title entice you to read further, right? So it must be interesting. The thing is your title need to be interesting, not that boring. I would say sometimes you need to find the word that's commonly used. All right. So sometimes you need to looking for the word that maybe article. I mean not article, like I mean what is it? Something that's not common. You need to looking for some word that academic term or something. Maybe that would attract some of people, because actually especially on your field, they will have the academic term of your field, right? People will do research based on that. So if your research, I mean your title, answer these 4 questions, right? I think it will be good enough. The important thing I would say it will be about the keyword, right? Try to think about the keywords. Your title later on will be some words on your title later on will be put as the keyword, right? Next part, here come to abstract, right? So it will be briefly, just like a short summary of your whole paper, right? But propose the questions, methodology, result of the research, right? Then, right, mention here, right? Did you learn the most essential point about the study, right? The most essential points. I would say when you go read other people abstract, sometimes you do the research of literature review based on the abstract of the people. So the abstract is just the summary point. So if you can mention something that important point of your study, it will be more easy for people to understand and want to go more to your paper to read more. What is it really that the result that you get, that you mention, right? So this is the thing that you need to have. Does the abstract provide enough information? And right, so it's about information, right? You need to provide that, but the thing is, just provide this information is enough, right? To summarize about your study will be on abstract. Okay, right? Next part. Right, I will show you here, abstract, right? You can see here, you should have background statement. Short, just a short term, right? Maybe 1 or 2 sentences talking about your background of the statement is from the introductions of your paper, right? What is it? You will be starting about what, right? Then you raise your problems, yeah, the paper, your objectives, your purpose, why you're doing this, right? Your methodology, the result and conclusion, summarize overall. As you can see here, abstract is very short. I think it's only 1 page, not gonna be more than that, right? So yeah, it's just summarize of all only, right? That's why your abstract should be clear, should be short, and should be attractive for people. When they're reading, they want to know more about your paper. What is it in there, right? Is it really like this, what you show us in abstract? So that is all about research, to make people want to know more. What is it about your paper, right? It's not just like, oh, I just want to do research and graduate. No, you need to be proud of your paper, right? You need to be proud of it. You spend your time to think about your title. You spend your time to do methodology, collect data. You spend your time to do literature review or read how many books, right? Do searching for how long, right? You need to be proud, to be happy about it. And abstract is the main key for people to looking, right? To want to looking into your paper. Abstract needs to be interesting, right? This is the important thing. And most of the thing that you go research is start from abstract. Asking yourself, when you go to looking for literature review, right? You go looking for other people's paper, you start from abstract. Is it you reading abstract? Oh, it's not related to my work. I'm not gonna read inside the paper, right? The research. I'm not gonna go further. Right. So study from abstract. That's why your paper need to be good at abstract, right? Next part, right? Introductions. Oh, I have many questions here for you to follow, right? So first thing, right? Is it clearly identify the research problems, right? Is it problem significant enough to warrant a study? Right. The most important thing is it questions of your can be answered by your methodology? Is it? If it can, it's a good question. For example, you want to have a question, you want to know what is the motivation of this people, this group of people, the motivation. How do you find people motivation? By questionnaire, by interview? Oh, if you can get from that, you can write it as the question. You're not going to write questions that cannot find a way to get the answer, right? If you write some questions that you cannot find a way to get the answer, it's not going to working, right? So when you think of questions, you must thinking how you're going to get the answer of that question. Can I get the answer from doing questionnaire, right? From interview or from recording recorded video? Can I get from that, right? If you can get from that, okay, you get a good question, right? Next one, does the author use theory to provide framework to study, right? To support the study, right? So you need to have a theory. Where you find it? You need to searching for it. What? Starting from your titles, right? Titles talking about what? introduction need to support your titles. Titles talking about online classroom. You need to talking about online classroom, right? When it is start, when people do online classroom, you need to looking for it. Is it starting when COVID happened? Is it or is it started before? When? You need to do the research, right? So this will be an introduction. Just to mention what it is, right? Your title, what it is, right? Next one, also you need to review the literatures, right? Does the review literature seem complete, current, and appropriate, right? So in this part, you need to mention not much, right? Just some part, okay? To mention about the literature review. Maybe you're talking about online classroom. Maybe other people talking about it. You're taking some part of them, right? For example, maybe some of the research talking about when the classroom, online classroom started, that you take the word from there, right? As your literatures, right? The purpose of study clearly explained. You need to explain why you want to do this. Right? You not just do it to graduate, right? So you need to explain, okay? You want to find the answer of these questions, why, right? So try to answer this question for introduction part. Next one, methodology. Come to this part. All right, so is the sample clearly described in the term of size, relevant characteristic, etc.? All right, I will not go through all of this question. Maybe you can read it from here. I would just say that for the methodology part, you need to answer question WH question. I know most of you know what method do you use, right? What is your samples? You collect from who? Who is your samples, right? When did you collect it? Is it 5 years ago, right? Or maybe if you do qualitative data, is it the sample that you take, the information, is it old already, right? So you need to answer when, right? Where do you collect them, right? Why? Why do you choose this sample? The why questions is very important. Why? Why you collect it? Why you choose this group of people? You have to answer that question, right? So WS question, why? It's very easy, right? It must be related to your titles or your topic, right? For example, your titles talking about you do a case study on university student. So in the methodology, why you collect it, right? Why you collect this group of people? Because you want to study about them, right? About university students. So this is the methodology, right? You answer the question clearly according to this, right? How you collect it, methodology, right? So I think mostly people think methodology is very simple. For me, I think it's very simple, right? It's easy, okay, right? You just need to find someone that related with your topic, with your title, right? Next one, result. So what you get? So results is about what you get. You're just telling it, no adding. You don't add anything. Don't adding other people words, don't adding anything. So result is about what you get, right? So you summarize your data, right? Yeah, right? And then come to the next part, discussion and conclusion, right? If there was a hypothesis, was it accept or reject? Right? If in this case you have hypothesis, you make it a case by case. So is it accept or reject, right? Or if you do questionnaire, right? What is it? The statistic, is it acceptable? Is it okay? Right? The result. So in discussion and conclusion, you're talking about the thing that you found. How was it? right? Is it answer your questions, right? Is it okay, acceptable, right? Or you think you lack of something and need to be study more further than this, right? Or maybe have some obstacle during collecting some data, right? You can mention it here, right? Or the paper, there's no perfect papers, right? Or there might be something that you need to discuss in here, in discussion and conclusion, right? I would say when you do research paper, there are lots of external factors that affect, right? You plan it to be like this, and the result is not like that. Or maybe your result is what you get, but there are something that missing. There's need to be more study on this point to get more perfect, right? Paper, perfect research, right? You need to mention in here, right? Most of the time when I do the research, I feeling sometimes you like, for example, for me, I feeling sometimes when you doing the methodology, you collect data, you feeling, oh, you already get enough information, but at the end, at the result, and when come to discussion and conclusion, you feeling actually is not. You need more bigger size of sample, right? And maybe more details about it, right? But that time you didn't put in the more details, but you thinking if further study, people can put more details about it, right? More question in questionnaire, right? Maybe you should do more depth interview, right? You can mention here, right? Come to the last part, reference. In references, you need to mention, right? Where you take the information from, right? In the reference. So is the reference list sufficiently correct? Right? The word is correct. Okay. I would say you should looking for some information or some data that not over than 5 years, right? Not over than 5 years, okay? Right? Try to looking for it. But if it really don't have it, right? You need to writing more, right? Why? Right? Maybe people not doing research about that anymore, whatever it is. So there is no update about that kind of information, right? But you just try to find the most current one, right? So do the work site reflect the most important reference sources on the topic of the study, right? So the thing that you search must be related, right? The sources must be related with your study, right? Are the citation used appropriately in the text, right? You're using correct citations, right? Are you just take it their paper, whole paper, or you just copy them, right? You should not do that, right? You should read, you should summarize, and you should write your own word, right? Try to do, okay? All right, all right. So I would like to go on to part. This is what your paper should look like. If you can answer all of this part, it will be good. All right. There's extra tools that really can helping you for doing the research, right? Firstly, I would say is ChatGPT, right? I think for this part, maybe next week I will share you about this, how you use ChatGPT for start, right? For get an idea how to write the research, right? And I will share you this part. Okay, in the literature review, right? You can use this kind of website, right? For you to go for citation, right? Citation also having right? Literature will research, right? The PubMed will be talking about the medication, but I think mostly people, I think you should go, right, to Google Scholar, right? There's a lot of paper research in there, right? And about writing, like maybe you know already this kind of website, you can go and check all of this, right, by yourself. Okay, so next week we're talking about paragraph writing, right? So I will be sharing you about it next week, right? But for this week, will be all, right? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Any questions? Any questions you want to ask? No questions. All right. So if no questions, I would like to end this section for today.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay. All right. You can feel free to ask me questions. All right. Okay. So if no questions, thank you so much. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank
Thank you,
you
teacher.
so
See you
much.
next-
See you.
See
All
you.
right.
Thank you, teacher.